Mara always believed that love was made of soft gradients, gentle hues that blended together with time. She believed in warmth, patience, and small everyday acts that built trust. But the night she met Dorian Hale, the world shifted in ways she didn't immediately understand. It was raining that Thursday evening. Mara was seated in a small cafe, the one she always visited to write after work. She was halfway through a sentence when the door opened, and he walked in. Dorian had a presence that felt almost staged, like every movement was intentional. He wore a dark coat, carried no umbrella despite the storm, and his eyes carried the unreadable, distant look that people mistake for depth. He walked directly to her table and sat down without waiting for permission. "You looked lonely," he said, his tone smooth, warm, confident. Mara paused. She wasn't lonely, she was simply alone. But somehow, she let him stay. That was his first deception, reshaping her truth before she even realized it. Dorian talked in stories that never quite aligned. His childhood was tragic, but on other days it was triumphant. His career was glamorous, until suddenly it wasn't. He had friends who admired him deeply, until he told another version where those same friends betrayed him. Each time he spoke, he gave just enough pain to appear vulnerable and just enough charm to disarm her. Mara didn't see how carefully calculated his warmth truly was. He offered his affection the way some people offer samples, small tastes, never the whole thing, just enough to keep her leaning in. He brought her flowers one evening, unexpectedly, beautifully, and then disappeared without explanation for 3 days. He wrote her heartfelt notes, scribbled on napkins and sticky pads, and then laughed when she kept them safely tucked away. He held her hand as if she was his anchor, only to let go the moment she tried to hold on tighter. He was a puzzle missing pieces, and Mara believed it was her job to find them. Within 2 months, Dorian moved in, not out of love, though he let her believe that, but out of convenience. He said he needed a place to stay for a little while, and Mara, who always led with her heart, agreed, but a little while stretched into something permanent. Slowly, he began draining her in ways she didn't recognize at first. He complimented her kindness while pushing every emotional boundary she had. He praised her independence, yet subtly isolated her from the people who cared most. He admired her patience, but used it as a shield for his inconsistencies. He would say things like, "You're the only one who understands me," right after making her feel like she was a problem. And when she confronted him with her concerns, he didn't get angry, he went silent. A cold, heavy silence that made her feel invisible. The kind of silence that forces an apology out of the person seeking clarity. Mara started apologizing just to break the tension, even when he was the one who caused it. Dorian lived in deception, not the loud kind, but the slow, subtle kind. The kind that makes you question yourself more than him. Whenever she tried to address the imbalance, he suddenly became the victim. A crisis appeared out of nowhere, a failed opportunity, a difficult family issue, a sudden emotional breakdown. Her boundaries dissolved under the weight of his conveniently timed pain. He insulted her gently, never enough to draw attention, but always enough to bruise. "You're sensitive," he would say. "You're overthinking. You always assume the worst." He said it softly, almost affectionately, like he was helping her improve herself. But each phrase carved away at her confidence. And still she loved him. She loved the potential she imagined in him. She loved the version of him she believed was hiding beneath the shadows. She loved the small moments of tenderness, not realizing they were crumbs he scattered to keep her hopeful. Then one night, everything shifted. Dorian was in the shower when his phone lit up on the table. A message preview glowed on the screen. Mara didn't intend to read it, but the first line was enough to stop her breath. It said, "She's useful. I'll stay until I'm back on my feet." Useful. The words sliced through her. Not loved, not cherished, not appreciated. Useful. Her heart didn't shatter dramatically. Instead, it cracked quietly, like glass under relentless pressure. She felt foolish, betrayed, Empty. When she confronted him, she expected denial, excuses, maybe even guilt. But Dorian didn't flinch. He didn't panic. He simply stared at her, his expression cold and blank. "You read my message," he said. That's the real betrayal. In one breath, he turned her into the offense. He made her feel like she was the one who broke trust. He twisted the truth so effortlessly that she almost questioned her own pain. But that night, something inside Mara woke up, something that had been waiting in silence, buried under exhaustion and confusion. She sat in the living room long after he fell asleep, staring at the man she once believed she could help heal. And she whispered to herself a truth she finally had the courage to hear. "You don't love me. You love what I give you." The next morning, while the sky was still dim, Mara quietly packed her suitcase. Not her whole life, just the pieces of herself she had forgotten, her journals, her paintbrushes, her favorite books, her smile. When Dorian stumbled out of the bedroom and saw the suitcase by the door, his face didn't soften. He didn't panic. He didn't try to understand. He just stared with that hollow, black and white emptiness he always carried. "You're making a mistake," he said flatly. Mara exhaled, a breath she didn't realize she had been holding for months. "No," she said softly. "Leaving you is the first thing I've done right in a long time." He cycled through every shade of manipulation, anger, sadness, indifference, nostalgia, but none of it touched her anymore. For the first time, she saw him clearly, a man who took but never gave. A man who enjoyed being loved, but didn't know how to love. A man who thrived in the shadows she kept trying to light. And she walked away. Healing wasn't instant. Some days she cried. Some days she felt relief. Some days she doubted herself. But little by little, the fog lifted. The exhaustion faded. The colors returned. She realized she wasn't tired because she loved him. She was tired because she was surviving him. His silence wasn't calm, it was control. His vulnerability wasn't honesty, it was strategy. His affection wasn't love, it was courtesy. Mara didn't hate him, she didn't wish him pain. She simply understood him and chose herself instead. Because when someone shows you their life is black and white in a world full of color, you don't force them to see the spectrum, you step back. Before they drain the color out of you too. Love should never require losing yourself. And Mara didn't leave because she stopped loving him. She left because she finally remembered how to love herself more. Thank you for listening. If this story touched you, like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more stories that speak to the soul.